Hello there, welcome to the review. You may wonder, what am I doing? Well, I'm riding a 200cc Chinese motorcycle, which is really like a little road bike, and I'm riding it through central Mongolia. It's a 2,000 kilometer ride around Mongolia, and we're going through this really rocky country at the moment, which is very tiring, and hopefully in about 10-15 kilometers we'll hit our campsite. So I wanted to talk to you about sleeping, because out here in this beautiful country, I recommend you come here. It is amazing. It gets really cold. So the first night we camped, it was about 1 degree. The second night was a little better, maybe 5. Third night was freezing, somewhere sub-zero, we don't know. So luckily I upgraded my gear before I left. My first thing was sleeping bag, and I'd heard about quilts, the new thing being quilts, so I thought I'll give that a go. So I looked into it, and there's a company in Sydney called Neve Gear, and they make this quilt called the Waratah. So I contacted the owner of the company, who's also the designer of the quilt, Ryan, and asked him if he would be up for me taking the quilt to Mongolia and give it a test, which he was. Thank goodness he said yes, because it's worked really well. It's rated to -2, and that was very helpful over the last few nights. Now I had to pair it with something in a mat, because my mat was only like a rated 2.1R or something. So I got a Cedar Summit Etherlite XR, and that's a 4.1 rating. And between them, I've actually survived. I think most of the heat that I'm losing, actually, I would say, is through the mat, because it's a 4.1. And the ground had literally had ice on it. Feels colder under me than it does on top. The quilt actually feels really warm. Mongolia, it's a high country, and therefore you're going to need to keep warm. And that was my priority coming on this trip. I wanted to be warm. I've been cold too many times, and it does not make for a good night's sleep. And also here, we're in the middle of nowhere, and if you get sick from being cold, well, that's not a good thing. Anyway, so far as a combination, they've been working really well. So, speak to you when I get to camp. So we finally made it to the camping spot. That was a long day, and the last 60k all through that bumpy stuff was pretty horrendous, very tired. But when you get here, this is what you've got. Mongolia. This fabulous country, massive, big valleys, and you can camp wherever you want. It's a fantastic place. But I want to tell you more about the quilt, so let's get into the tent and I'll tell you about it. So here we are, here's the Waratah in the tent. It's a great build, really well done, and it's got a really quite soft feel. It's cozy. And then up here at the head end, there's 2 tabs, and you join them together with these 2 little clips either side, and then you pull this cord, and that cinches it up around your neck, and that helps to keep the warm air in. And then we've got a strap. Now the strap system's designed to help keep the quilt in place and keep the warm air in. So that would clip from here and go under the mattress and come up on this side, and then we just clip it into here. So when you're rolling around and you lift the quilt up, you've still got this much tucked underneath you, whereas other mats have the clip down here on the side, and so when you lift and roll up, you get this air gap letting all the warm air out and cold air in. So there's 2 of those straps, one here and the other one across here, sort of a midpoint. And then down here at the feet end, you can actually cinch that all together and sort of block it off so it's like a sleeping bag at the bottom. But if I flip it over here, what he's done is he's put in about the last 80 centimetres or so, he's got this zipper. Now if you leave this unzipped, you've just sort of got a big loose rectangle quilt. But if you zip it up and cinch the bottom, you've essentially sort of got the bottom of a sleeping bag, and it tends to keep your feet warmer. So this is an 850 fill quilt, so it's right up there, and it will keep you warm. But what they've done in the design is they've put more fill down around your feet in the compartments around here, so keeping your feet warmer. And then as we move up, he's got more fill across the middle of the quilt to to keep your torso warm, and less on the sides where it's either not on you or it's tucked under you. And so we've got a good quilt, and what else do we need? We need a good mat, and I've matched it with the Cedar Summit Etherlight XR. And this model is the wide one. So I had a standard one, and I found that if I'm lying on my back, my arms just keep falling off the sides, which drives me crazy. You just keep waking up. So I've got the wide one, and it's great. Now I also sleep on my sides, but with this cushion system they've got, I never touch the ground at all. It really is sort of like sleeping in a bed, really good. Now it's 10 centimetres thick, so good depth. And inside, besides the unique cell structure they have reflective material and insulation, which gives it a rating of 4.1. And in this tent, which is a Durston X-Stone 1 Plus, fits really well. So this mat, in conjunction with the Waratah quilt, is a great sleep system for me. I'm really happy so far. Okay, here I am in another massive valley, one after the other. It's amazing. And I thought I should just quickly run you through some of the specs of the Waratah quilt. It's got a fill power of 850, which is right up there with the best. And it weighs just 645 grams. And 430, I think it is, of that is the fill. It compresses down to a volume of 4.3 litres, so that gives you an idea of what it compresses down to a size. If you think of a 4-litre bag, you're in the zone. And it uses 10D nylon, and it's got a sort of water repellent coating on it, which helps repel the water a little bit, and if it does happen to get a bit wet, it dries faster. And it's available in 3 lengths, I believe, depending on your height, and 2 comfort ratings. There's a -2 and a -8 degrees centigrade, and those comfort ratings are based on women who run a little bit colder. So if you're a bloke, the -2 might do you in slightly colder areas. Now with the quilt you get a storage bag, and you get an 8-litre dry bag and the 2 pad straps. Now in the construction it's using horizontal and vertical baffles, and that helps keep the down in place and give you a more even down covering. And it uses boxed baffles, so you don't have those ones that are sort of like an oval shape where the heat can escape through the seam, so you don't get that. And the last thing to mention is that the duck down inside it is responsibly sourced and it's certified.
Well, the sun's out, and that's not something I expected to see this morning. 1 o'clock this morning it was raining pretty heavily, and I thought we're in for a pretty muddy day. We've got some 350 kilometres to chase down, and I was fully expecting we'd be wet and slipping and sliding all over the place, but it's really nice that the sun has come out. Anyway, it was pretty mild last night, the first night, 14-15 degrees I'm guessing, and the quilt was actually a bit hot. I was wearing just some thermal pants and this t-shirt, and I was warm as toast, in fact a little too warm. But it was nice to be that warm. I meant to mention that this quilt, it's light as and packs down to quite a small package. You can get it into the panniers on the bike. It costs around $340, I think, Australian. So it's really good value for something that's of such a high fill power. As well as the compression sack, you get this storage sack with the mesh top, and this is the one you use to put the quilt in when you go home and you've aired it out and let it dry off if it got wet. And the mesh lets the air flow through into the quilt while it's being stored. As long as you keep it somewhere nice and dry, it's good. I'm using this for my clothes on the trip and also as my pillow, and it's worked a treat, I've got to say, really good.
I'm now riding on the last day, and we're heading into the capital Ulaanbaatar. We're probably about 100 k's away. Then we'll be at the finish line of this rally, and it's been a great thing to do. I'm so glad I came on this thing. Above all, this landscape and its people have been just amazing. So I just thought I'd wrap up on the Waratah quilt from Neve Gear in conjunction with the Cedar Summit Etherlight XR. Man, I have never slept better camping in my life. that is it. And I'm very happy with this arrangement. The Etherlight is just so comfortable. I'm mixed between side sleeping and sleeping on my back, and I was just comfortable as no matter which position I was in. The quilt, I would never go back to a sleeping bag. The freedom, it's like when I get to a hotel, the first thing I do is pull out the sheets. They're all nicely tucked in because I can't stand that constricted sort of feel, and that's what the quilt gives me. It's just really easy to roll over, move around, kick your feet around, do whatever, and the whole time super warm because that quilt has such a good fill in it. So super happy with both of them. Thanks again to Ryan from Neve Gear for throwing me the quilt, and mate, you've done a superb job on the design of this thing. It's fantastic. I'd highly recommend it to anyone. If you watch other YouTube videos and whatever, you'll see it's getting really good reviews. So yeah, that's it for me with that, and the end of Mongolia trip is near. I hope you've enjoyed the review. Like, subscribe if you wish, that'd be great, and I'll catch you soon. Bye.